Gone it. Put the house up and put the cash on it. You don't think Starkim back on it? Floating like a butterfly, stinging like a black hornet. I present to you the real.
We're joined on the show today by hip-hop legend Starkim. Please welcome him. It's been a long time coming, and it's finally great to have him on the show. Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad you for having me. And I'm here. Let's get into it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Do you mind starting off telling us whereabouts you grew up? And where to where you are now?
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, in the United States. Brooklyn is one of the 5 boroughs in the New York City area, which is different from New York State. There's New York State, and then there's New York City. So Brooklyn is one of the large boroughs in the 5-borough radius where hip hop started. Hip hop started in a borough called the Bronx, and like the brother KRS said, Bronx keeps creating, Brooklyn keep on taking. So, we took it to another level. With our guys. Queens, shout out to Queens. Queens did their thing. Staten Island did their thing with Wu-Tang. Bronx is already legendary. We already know their list is phenomenal. We just been doing what we do. Harlem definitely know they represent. And I'm from the part of Brooklyn, notorious section, aka, Biggie land, Jay-Z land, Big Daddy Kane land. And I've been back and forth between the borough of Brooklyn and the borough of Queens. So I'm a New York City baby. Trains, buses, mass transportation. That's how I grew up.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like so many talented people come out of Brooklyn, man. It's just like a hot spot for it. And,
It is. The borough itself means kings. It's the Kings County. So, I think that plays a large part in the bravado that comes from anybody from Brooklyn. There's a sort of assertiveness that comes from being from Brooklyn, knowing you're from the borough of Kings. We're not taking no shorts. We not asking twice. We ask once, twice is begging. We're gonna take it after that. We just as American as apple pie. We ask first, and if there's no compliance, we gotta just take what we know we're gonna do the right thing with.
Yeah. Definitely. I love that, man. That's cool.
Yes, sir.
And how old were you when you first, when did you first get into music? Like you found that passion and you knew that's what you wanted to do?
Oh, and I first found that passion in 1989. I was probably in about the 6th grade, going into junior high school. So over here where I'm at, 1st to 6th is considered like elementary, and after that, 7th and 8th is junior high, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th is high school. So around that time, I was in the 6th grade. I was inspired by Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, and Melly Mel from the Furious 5. It was the song that Big Daddy Kane had, Ain't No Half Stepping, with the video. That was it. And unbeknownst to me at that time, he was a relative. Is, because he still is alive, So his mother and my mother actually were party friends. They were party goers together. His mom name was Ruth Ann, and Ruth Ann and my mom Carolyn. They would party it up, My mom's favorite drink around that time was Bacardi and Coke. So, and we lived across the street from each other on Lafayette, and I never knew it because I was too young. I was too young to understand, not knowing that, oh, that's my cousin's cousin. Wow, that's crazy, And from that point on, I started trying to craft my poetry around 1989, and it was innocent, I think I went by the name Hal Nice, because my honorable name is Hal. So, I put that nice with it, which, it makes sense because in those times you were either an MC or you just went by a name, like how you got Nice and Smooth. It was Greg Nice and Smooth B, or you had MC Light or, MC Shan, So in the early start of hip hop, you had MC in front of your name. So I was inspired from that era. So I was just like, I'm just gonna be Hal Nice, and I wrote my first little poem, and my mom liked it. It was to my mom, so my mom liked it. So I guess her appreciation of my poetry as a novice made me think, okay, maybe try to do this more. But it was not rapping to beats. It was simply me starting as a pure poet, writing poetry, seeing how that goes. And it was rap, which to me is rhythm and poetry, a sped up rap, a sped up poem, so to speak. So that was like something that made me do it. And the more I heard records like um the Melly Mel message they did with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, it was like, wow, I gotta do this. I heard KRS-One, You a Philosopher. I started listening to different records, of course, Rakim and Cool G Rap. So these early people, 89 and 90, like 88, I would say 88, 89, when I first wanted to start writing my first poem. And around 90, I started trying to do my little rap thing for real. Because by the time I got to 1991, I was entering high school art and design, which is interesting because that just let me know that I was destined to be a part of the music and genre hip hop, because I went to school with Fredro Starr's little brother, and Fredro Starr is one of the lead members of Onyx. So I'm classmates with his little brother Dabs, David Scruggs. I'm also in there with John, aka Fabulous, aka Loso Sport, So I'm also in there with Mob Deep, Havoc, and Prodigy. I'm a freshman, they were in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
They dropped out and came out with their first video, Peer Pressure, that I see on the Box. The Box is an old network where you could call in and you could request your favorite video by your artist. Of course, they would charge a fee for you calling in, and that's how a lot of companies were marketing their artists, by having people call up to the Box. So I'm in school, I'm in high school of art design in Manhattan, New York, where all this going on, and we were all new to the game. And it's just interesting that after I got kicked out of art design, I ended up going to another high school, and I started hanging out with family members of Master Killer. And this is before Wu-Tang ever came out, before they even dropped Protect Your Neck officially. I was gifted a cassette tape with Biggie Smalls' Party of Bullshit on one side and Protect Your Neck on the other side. So I got this white tape with a kung fu book on it that said Wu-Tang on the cassette, and I'm playing this, mind blown. This like
Wow.
92. So everywhere I went, I was around greatness. I was around those who were already in the game or soon to be, unbeknownst to us. So I knew I was destined to do it from an early start.
Wow. Man, what an incredible like journey and people to be around, and like you're just a star
Yeah,
yourself too, man. That's like, it's
yeah, that's
meant
what
to
I just
be.
said. I wanted to point that out because a lot of people may not know their purpose or their gift in life. And I said all that to say that it's usually some evidence of what you're meant to do early on in your life. There's usually some breadcrumbs, some kind of inclination of, you know, maybe this is something I need to check out. This is happening too frequent, too often. This is not by happenstance or coinky dink. This is not a coincidence. It's coinciding with what I'm supposed to do. You know.
Definitely. I'm glad you did that too. I wanted to ask you, say someone does like start realizing the breadcrumbs and they do see that something's happening. What advice would you give to them? They're just starting out and they're not quite sure that first step to take and anything.
Well, if the breadcrumbs are interesting to them, then pick up the breadcrumbs and follow where the breadcrumbs lead you. And have faith. Faith means knowledge. There's no such thing as blind faith. That's a disability. It's impossible for you to have knowledge and be blind, because you have sight if you know. If you know about a thing, that gives you sight. Sight beyond sight is taking the journey, taking the leap of faith. So if you see those breadcrumbs in your life and they're appeasing to you, pick them up, because they could lead to the loaf of the bread that leads to the factory where the bread is being manufactured. you know, and that will help you, because once you know where you are, it'll speak to you. It'll resonate with the core of your being. If this is who you are, this is what's meant for you. And how will be determined as you start to partake. And what facet and what level That is to be determined. However, you'll find out better if you take a chance to follow where those breadcrumbs lead.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
that's
regret is no
awesome.
good. Regret is no good. To absolutely ignore that and live with regret is the worst punishment you could do to yourself as a human being.
Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, you're better off trying. You never know. And then, yeah,
And you never know until you what? Until you know.
yeah,
Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to quote unquote look foolish. Who cares how you look? To your own self, you should be true. If anyone gives you any flack or slack or mouth or lip service over a decision you made, you let them know I was bold and brave enough to take a chance to see what it was. It did pan out the way I would have liked. However, I can sleep at night knowing there's no regret. I didn't leave anything on the table. There was no stone that was not turned over to see what was under it.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of people live with that shame. That's why I wanted to point that out. And there's no shame in taking a shot. There's a
definitely,
shame in having the opportunity to take a shot and you don't take the shot. That's the shame.
100%. What's been, I guess, your favorite project to work on that you've had the most fun on?
The most fun I've had a chance to work on my own personal projects, the most fun was Carpe Diem for me. I worked on a lot of projects with a lot of artists. I helped people like AZ. I've helped people like Craig Mack. I've helped people like Black Rob. I've been a part of some things. However, the Carpe Diem album that I put out was real personal to me because it was at a time when I had a lot of naysayers and doubters who, for whatever reason, they thought I had to be with this big machine, I had this big engine pushing me, and not knowing that there was beauty in being independent. There was beauty in putting out stuff at your leisure and having the complete control of being at the helm in the driver's seat of your own career and your own life, being the CEO of your own life. So me putting that project out, another project again, I paid for all the production, I paid for the artwork. I was my own A&R, I was my own manager, I was my own label. I did everything. I was the Mad Hatter,
Yeah,
and I completed it. And Carpe Diem, if anybody's not familiar with it, just means seize the moment or seize the day. So I seized the day. I didn't worry about the past. I wasn't fixated on the future. In that perfect moment of the present, I operated in that perfect now. I was in the now. And I put it out there to inspire everyone that no matter what anyone says or does or has does or will do, you can be that which you want to be at this very moment you decide. And every moment you live, seize the moment, like how we're seizing this moment now. No hesitation, no hiccup, no interference. Let's just do it like Nike.
yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, for sure. And that's cool. I love that. I love the America album you put out too. That,
Oh yeah, yeah. That was another favorite,
yeah,
another favorite. That's my second favorite.
yeah. That Moet.
Moet, that's a set off. And the interesting thing about Moet, a lot of people don't notice. I was real close with AZ, the rapper, from Nas and the Firm. And the year was around 2012. And he gave me every excuse not to put out my own project. And I would just sit there like a good human being, humble in my will, and just listening to all the criticism, all the reasons why I shouldn't do. And I ignored that.
Yeah,
While he was talking, it was like Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. While I'm sitting in the passenger seat of his Porsche, wah, 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 because I'm not getting ready to let him or no one else dissuade me from my determined idea, which was to put out my own music to show people I'm not going to wait for no mystery force to deliver me. I'm going to be my own savior. I'm going to do this on my own volition. I'm going to do this on my own accord. I'm going to spend my own money because if you're going to bet on somebody, you better bet on yourself. That's the best bet you could place. So I placed that bet on myself. And every time he tried to talk me out, tell me, you Starkim, you stupid, you crazy. No, don't do it until you need this, you need that, you need that. And I was like, yeah, I hear you. I rap and I know producers and I got a studio. I'm gonna go to the studio with my raps and the production from these producers that I paid for, and I'm gonna A&R my own projects. I know what the hell I like to hear, and I'm gonna do this thing with whatever is in my power at my fingertips under my own nose. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show you and everyone else that I'm gonna do it. Lo and behold, I dropped that Moet album, which stood for money over everything. Do you know this man drove from New Jersey to Harlem, where I was at in New York, on Lennox and 100 and what was that, 39th in Lennox, just to give me that, just to give me five and say, yo, that was fire. You killed that.
Yeah.
And I said, you drove all the way up here to tell me that? We hung up about 5 minutes after that. I said, all right, well, I appreciate it. I got out the car and I went on about my business. Because at that moment, I showed him and I showed myself that if you ignore the noise and you really focus on that frequency of God, that divine energy in you, you'll get to know yourself on a higher level, and you'll prove to everyone that you knew what you was talking about, because people can make you think you are plumb crazy.
Yeah.
If you stand on what you stand on, you have a better chance of proving everyone wrong than to listen to someone else. It's better to fail at your own idea than to fail at the idea of another person, because that's another regret. So I want to tell everybody in your audience that no matter what people say that you should have or you don't have or you lack, you prove them wrong. You do what you can do with the resources you have, because that's showing the universe gratitude. And say, let's say, for instance, something costs 300,000. You don't have 300,000. If you're willing to put in the work and you can only muster up 3,500, the universe is watching. It's cognitive. It's aware. It's saying, look what this individual's done with a shoestring budget, with a whole lot of faith. Then the doors and gates will be open to you. People don't understand that principle. They get defeated by the task at hand, or how long the journey is, or how large the obstacle is, as opposed to understanding, hey, what's going on, my man? As opposed to understanding the greatness that exists within them and utilizing that, because the way out is in. So I want to be able to impress upon everyone's conscious and on their frontal lobe, there's nothing impossible for anyone with a determined mind and a will, because the will is the masculine principle and the way is the feminine principle. The two must work together as one. You need a will and a way. However, if you have the will, the way will manifest itself.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Like, that's very, very cool, man. Yeah, I 100% agree with you too. That's
Absolutely. The truth is itself. It's going to defend itself, and
yeah,
that's why I stick with the facts and the truth.
definitely. I love that story you told too. It was sticking. Proved everyone wrong, and you just stuck to it.
Stick to your guns, man. Always do that. It's better to be wrong, taking a chance on yourself,
Yeah,
you know, than to be right, taking somebody else's advice, because at the end of the day, they can always put it over your head and dangle it like a carrot in your face. If it were not for me, you would not be where you are.
yep,
I'd rather be wrong taking my own shot.
definitely. What's been I guess your favorite moment in your career, like besides making that album, and has there been anything that's really a memory that you have that's really stands out all the time?
Well, the memory that stands out all the time is two of them.
Yep.
One time when I did the throwback joint of the day on 106 in Park alongside Craig Mack as his hype man, when they had the original host of 106 in Park, Free, and AJ Calloway. That was a great moment because I got a chance to battle the first 7-week Freestyle Friday champion by the name of Poster Boy in the green room. And that was giving me a chance to sharpen my sword against him in the verbal battle. The second time was when a great crooner by the name of Nate Dogg from the West Coast. We were in North Carolina, and I was again a hype man for Craig Mack on stage. And my hype man abilities was so exciting that he came next to me. He was wearing a pinstripe suit with a derby hat, and he leaned into me while I got the microphone doing my hype man thing for Craig Mack. He's like, "Your energy is crazy," and he just started dancing next to me on stage, and he was into it. We in North Carolina, I think it was like a Myrtle Beach thing.
Wow.
If memory serves me correct, we were doing something for Myrtle Beach in the summertime, and it was just crazy. Like I'm doing my thing in my own little world, and I noticed to my left, it's Nate Dogg,
Yeah.
like telling me my energy is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they pull him out the crowd to get next to me while we doing Craig's set.
Wow.
So that's a memory I can, and it just was like, energy is real, it's infectious, positive and negative, good or bad. So
Yeah.
that was something that stood out to me. And I've had a lot of good moments in music. However, those two stand out because one, it was the first time free and AJ, and a lot of people grew up probably with Terrence and Roxy. I've met both. So the first of a thing is always the best, like your first child, your
Yeah.
first sexual experience, your first time in a new school, your first time in a new car. Like, the first is always something that's memorable.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
good or bad
Definitely.
experience, you'll always remember it, whether it was good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And what about I guess I wanted to ask who's who's some people that you see now coming, like I guess new to the game, that you look at and go, wow, these people. So, you said you went to school and you knew Mob Deep and everything, and you
Mhm.
can just tell who has it. Is there anyone new come through that you go, yeah, these people, I got a good feeling about them? Like,
Yeah, there's been some people that I've come across who I know they're gonna do. Like for instance, Girl Code, they stand out. The Girl Code is
yeah,
a new act on 300 Entertainment, 300 Warner Brothers, and Brooklyn Night, and they got it. These girls remind me of the new and improved Salt and Pepper, Hasa Diddy and Shot Bigger. Um, I got another artist I see is gonna make it, Missy Wave. She's out of Brooklyn. She's a dope artist. She can go anywhere from drill to harmonizing. And then I had the Trench Kids via Boston and Dominican Republic, 17, 18-year-old young gunners, fiery. So I see it in them already. They just released a video called My Truth, and it's already got well over 15K views for a brand new group. It's only been out for 2 weeks.
yeah,
They polished, and at the age that they are, 17, 18, they're phenomenal. So I got a good eye for talent. I've
yeah,
seen a lot of people prior to them who I knew were gonna be something big. You know, who could stand out now would be even Ali Vegas. Like I knew him before he got really popping. My man FT and Street Smarts. I seen it early with these individuals. Even X1 extraordinaire, who was they bill him as Sticky Fingers' little brother.
yeah,
I'll leave that where that's at. However, he passed away. However, I knew him before he got started. He I think he showed up on The Worst with Onyx and Wu Tang. If memory serves me correct, he had a verse in that and in the video. And he was one of those guys. He was one of those ones where you can tell, yeah, he going somewhere. I can even see that Nino Brown. Like I bumped into him before he even got with So Raspy and Jada Kiss, and I just seen it on like he one of those ones. Loaded Lux, I seen him in his early stages, one of those ones,
yeah,
and look, he's still doing his thing. We caught up and got some stuff done on my first album. I had him down with me in Florida and moving around doing some shows and stuff. So I've been able to really see the beginning stages, yet look through the annals of time into the future and know exactly where they're going to be if they stay the course.
yeah. If they follow the right path and keep doing it.
Because that's important.
Yeah,
You can have all the potential in the world. However, if you don't do anything with it, it's just potential. It doesn't become kinetic. You
yeah,
have to move and move correctly.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I wanted to know your thoughts, because I felt like you had an eye for it, and it's good to know what one of your favorite artists' favorite, like, guess what they like as well. So that's cool.
That's right. That's right.
Um, but I wanted to ask as well, are you working on anything now? Are you allowed to talk about it or?
Yep, I'm working on it now. I'm working on this new project called God's Blood,
Yeah,
and that's an ode to anyone that's trying to figure out like how does Starkim do what he does. It's God's blood in my veins, and I know and understand God is the supreme force and power that exists in the mind, on the mental plane. And only a select few can incapacitate that power or hold that power within. It's a great responsibility to acknowledge yourself on a high level of divinity. So, as long as I keep that frequency and I'm well acquainted and married onto that frequency, that force that resides between my pineal and pituitary gland, that creates that same dark matter that space is comprised of in all elements and the planet universe is, as long as I'm in a frequency, that's what's coursing through my veins. So if anybody want to know the secret, quote unquote, to my success, it would be my acquaintance to that divine frequency known as God. So
yeah,
one
that's
drop of my
incredible.
blood can save and cure the world.
Yeah, man. I love that.
You
That's
know?
cool.
And I'm also working on Missy Wave's debut, and I'm also working on Trench Kid's debut. Um, Shout out to the Girl Code. They're in the studio cooking up some new heat. So, we're allowed to talk about those things, and I want the world to know it. I want the sound to travel. I want the light to travel because we're not here to be quiet and to just be born and just go out quietly. Shh. No, you're gonna have to break some eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah,
Okay. You're gonna have to dirty up a canvas with some paints to make a picture,
yeah,
you know.
that's gold. Yeah, I love that. When can people expect your next project out?
Right now it's the month of July. I'm looking for at least third quarter, it's around
Yep,
September, So I'm looking at that because I want to take my time with it. If anybody ever want to know, classics are made by being very patient with the process and taking the time to make classic material. It never goes out if you take the time to make a classic. We could put out this microwave music that's been going on. However, as you can see, it doesn't stick.
yep,
And the reason why it doesn't stick because it's not enough solid substance. It's nothing substantial to substantiate its place in your playlist or in your head because it's just fly by night. I don't
yep,
like the rap to pay the bills type of rap. I don't like the rap to pay the condo type of rap, the rap to pay the car. No, I don't want you to do anything where your motivation is money because integrity is lost. When you do what you love, the reward is the completion and fulfillment of that task and the monetary gain that comes with it. That's the cherry on top. If you do what you love, you will get rewarded beyond fiat, beyond money, beyond cash. You'll get the reward of self-fulfillment, soul feeding energy that you just can't pay for. And you get paid.
yeah, yeah. The bonus, man. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Do you do a lot of reading? It seems like you're just a wordsmith.
Love it. Love it. I'm an avid reader. I'm an addict of learning. I'm
Yeah,
addicted to learning and improving myself. Because
yeah,
if I'm here, I recognize that being alive, you're forever enrolled in the school of life. And the best teacher is experience. So while I'm here, I'm going to learn everything I can learn about myself and the world outside of myself.
definitely. And
My favorite pastime is to learn.
yeah, for sure, man. You never stop learning. It's good to embrace it.
Yep. Anything that stops growing is dead.
Do you have any books you'd recommend, like that have really stood out for you that would help people?
The 7, 8, and 9 habits of highly effective people. Um, I would recommend the Bible, but that's not easy for people to translate and decode. It's a lot of coded language in there. So I wouldn't recommend someone to do that who's not a reader because you'll be lost. So I would go with the 7th, 8th, 9th um, Habits of Highly Effective People. They may have more editions since then. Um, 40 Laws of Power is good.
Mhm.
The Art of War is good, by Sun Tzu. Uh, mm, that's what I would start off with anybody that's interested in reading, because those books that I just mentioned deals a lot about mental awareness, planning, strategy,
Yeah.
and if they start with that, they start diving into the, but also another one called The Secret. I'll recommend The Secret.
Yeah.
Information in those books can really unlock some closed doors mentally for people and help you kind of like put things in perspective. Because if you read a book that's telling you about the habits of highly effective people,
Yeah.
it's self-explanatory. People who are highly effective, they have these habits. And if you don't have these habits, you may want to develop these habits, because these habits have been proven scientifically to be successful.
Yeah.
And Art of War teach you about life within yourself and outside yourself, strategy when dealing with war, because a lot of things, it's a war. It's a war to establish peace.
Mhm.
Even if you're trying to achieve economic success, it's a war. You really are going to war with trying to get someone else's money into your possession, and you have to offer something of yourself. So the war game in that is, can I gain more than I lose? Or can I break even? But you don't want to be the one on the short end of the stick, and it goes up and down. It's topsy-turvy, like the stock market. Yet it's war. Every day people are fighting for the same thing. So to read a book like Art of War teaches you strategy, or at least prepares your brain to analyze strategic thoughts. So everything I recommend is going to help improve. And the reason why I didn't recommend the Bible or the Quran or something like that is because it may be too esoteric of a language to be able to get an understanding. You may become more lost than when you started if you try to read this. You're like, I don't know, this makes any sense to me.
Yeah.
So start with the basics. I will start with those basics of getting familiar with studying, getting familiar with yourself and the world around you, and then you go into higher learnings. And if you feel like you're ready for books like the Torah, Scrolls of the Dead Sea, the Book of the Dead, and you want to start studying aliens and studying different planets, that's cool. Deal with Earth
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Deal with Earth, because you've been here. You haven't been on Mars. You know nothing about Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, Plato, or Mercury. You know nothing about these people or
Yeah.
places. So stick there.
Wow. That's
You know
great.
what I'm
I'll
saying?
check out some of those books. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir.
And what about your favorite? I guess, do you have top three movies of all time?
Top three movies. Interesting. Um, One of my top three movies, I'm gonna start with Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know if it's Dream Warriors. Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. It may be number four. And the reason why I like that movie is because it helps you understand when people say that they're fighting demons, right? If you notice in that movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, every single person that was met with a challenge from Freddy Krueger was based on their own vices.
Yeah. Wow.
So it illustrates, when you look at, Robert Englund and the people involved with writing that movie and bringing that movie to life, you see that everyone's issues with Freddy Krueger when they went to sleep and they went into a sleep state, they were always met wherever they are in life with a particular vice that they haven't mastered or been able to be victorious over.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite movies, um, I would say, would be Glory, with Denzel
Yeah.
Washington and Morgan Freeman. That showed a lot of fortitude and strength through adversity,
Yeah.
and a lot of diplomacy, because the Morgan Freeman character speaking the young Denzel character, and it was in the same regiment, was just letting them know that this is a thinking man's game. This is not just about brute force. You got to know when to
Yeah.
uprise, and when to just stay put and stay the course until you have a better way of figuring out things, Another favorite movie of mine, hmm, I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
would go to the beginning to when, Luke Skywalker was going through his apprenticeship
Yeah.
under Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So all the Star Wars, you can get me with that. However, I'll start with the beginning, Return of the Jedi type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Star Wars too. It's cool as.
Yep. Because Star Wars, look, go back to war, back to war.
Yeah.
Peace and war, they're like, they're twins. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? The opposites of each other, like salt water and fresh water. They come from the same source. It's just a degree of manifestation.
Yep. That's cool. Who's someone that you haven't worked with yet that you'd love to work with?
Someone I haven't worked with that I would love to work with. Man, I would love to work production wise with Dr. Dre. Um, Artist wise in the studio, I would like to work with Nas.
Yeah.
I like his work process. I would like to work with Black Thought. I would like to work with I would like to work with Jay Electronica. I like the way he puts his stuff together, where his mind is at,
Yeah.
because all those people can make songs and they're lyrical at the top of their game, And shout out to everybody. It's not that I'm singling out. I'm just again saying that these are people that I would like to work with that I haven't worked out. So production wise, it would be Dr. Dre. And artist wise, it would be Nas, Black Thought, you know, and Jay Electronica. I think that'd be a good combination.
Definitely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I can hang with every one of them.
Yeah, man.
Give me a chance to sharpen my sword. Like, oh, okay, that's what you got. Well, this is what I got.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, I love all your words too, man. And yes, legendary. I can't wait for God's blood to be coming out.
Soon come around September. We're looking for that around that time. So it gives me a time to really get it all set up, and it's gonna be dope. I got Easy Mo B's already giving me some submissions for tracks, so I'm just picking
Wow.
it up.
Another
You know,
legend.
yeah, another legend. That's my guy.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to someone, yeah, who wants to start? I know you gave advice before, but if they want to specifically start, I guess, writing or getting into poetry, that side.
Let the ink pen flow, let the pencil flow, let the whatever you're using as a writing utensil flow. If you're not using nothing writing utensils, let your words just flow from your heart. And your heart is your mind. A lot of people misinterpret the heart as that organ that palpitates in the chest area. That's not the heart. The heart is the pineal. Okay, the brain gave birth to the heart. You never had a single thought in that thing that palpitates. It's your thoughts that cause it to palpitate, whether anxiety, joy, sadness, whatever. So, let your heart, let your mind flow, and that's how you'll be able to get better at the craft, and it'll magnetize you to such a degree that you'll attract the people, the places, and the things to you.
Yeah.
Once you have that determined idea and thought, that, for lack of a better term, that conviction of your thought that you want to do this, the more you let your mind flow, and everything else will come from that. That's the nucleus of what you want to do. You want to start to become what you desire. Already see yourself as that polished, ready-made artist or superstar. See yourself as it first, like a picture board. Once you see yourself as, you'll begin to innately, naturally charge yourself to such a degree that you become magnetic, and that magnetism will draw all places, people, and things toward you. And be careful, because it can spook you if you're not prepared for all that which magnetics draw, because it's going to attract.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I believe that. That's cool.
Hmm.
I definitely love everything you've been saying, man. It's a strong message and it's so positive. I believe in it.
That's great. Well, I
And
want you to know it. I don't
yeah,
want you to just believe in it, Mr. Berry. I want you to know it because belief is shrouded in doubt. The
yeah,
word lie exists in belief. The first word we get to belief is be. Be is to exist. It is. So as you look at belief or believe is be lie. So you exist in a lie. And the N word in believe is Eve. And we already know her story. If you're familiar with the Adam and Eve story, she didn't fare too well.
yeah,
So you want to know. You don't want to believe it's 3 o'clock. You want to know if it's 3 o'clock.
yeah,
You want to be sure. So when you can change the belief to the knowing, you will have what's called faith. And faith is not a belief. Faith is what you know. So always come to know something. No more belief after today. Challenge yourself to get that out of your vocabulary. You don't want to believe nothing. You want to know it so you can show it.
yeah,
I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I'm the age I am. I don't say I believe. I can tell you I know my age.
yeah,
I don't have to say I believe this is my dad. I can tell you I know this is my dad. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely. That's cool. I love that. I'm gonna try and do that now. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good exercise because it'll have a profound effect in the coming moments in your life where you'll notice that once you just reverse the polarity of thinking from belief to knowing,
Yeah,
it'll help you remove a lot of BS from your life and from people. Because it's easy to use things like belief, doubt, and hope and wishing. We all know that hope is the opiate of the poor.
yeah,
You don't hope for a thing, it either is or it's not. I hope it doesn't rain tomorrow. So what if it does? Get your rain jacket and your rain boots. Who cares?
yeah,
Because you hoping it's not going to rain, it's not going to change the fact that it's going to rain or not.
yeah,
Follow?
yeah. I
So that's
got
how
you.
we do it.
Yeah, yes. I'm glad we linked up on here, man. It's yeah, full of knowledge, man. Yeah, learning so much.
I'm glad we was able to chop it up, man, and I appreciate the opportunity to come in and share with you and your audience the good things, information, and make someone extract the best part from this and be great. I'm here to spark the minds of those who are going to be the inheritors of this earth to change and transform it for the better, all inclusive.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. Someone will. I think a lot of people are gonna find some good in this. This is yeah, you got an incredible message, and yeah, I love your music too. It's brilliant.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. They can find me on Instagram at Amir Entertainment LLC. That's AMIRENTERTAINMENT LLC. I'm there all the time. That's my best way to get at me on YouTube. I'm OG Starkim. That's OGSTARKIM. And be on the lookout for God's blood. Be on the lookout for the Trench Kids. They got the single My Truth. Missy Wave, she has the single BBP out. Boss Bitch Problems is circulating. Video coming soon. And we working, man. I got my Checkmate Entertainment. That's the management company where I manage the artists under. That's spelled CHKMATE. And that's how we doing is checkmate. We're not gonna make no moves unless we can checkmate the opponent.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I love the name too.
Thank you. Thank you. So we here to win. Winners win, losers lose.
Yeah,
And the first thing a winner must realize is that there's no losing for a winner. Everything is a learn. It's not a loss. A L is not a loss to us. A L is a learn.
yeah,
A good lesson is a good learn. So we're not afraid to make a mistake. We're not afraid to have a learning experience that most people call losses. There's no fear in our DNA whatsoever. Every opportunity is out there. We're going to seize them. We're going to put the perspective on everything. We're going to take off belief and hope out the equation and replace it with knowing and surety. And we're going to keep winning.
That's cool. I love that too. Even at the L's for learning.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. There's no losses for a winner.
Yeah.
Winners never lose and losers never win.
Yeah.
Because everything a winner does is a learn. The winner doesn't lose.
Yeah. It's constant.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got going on, man. Tap in with me whenever you want. Give me an update. Let me know what's going on.
Yep.
I would love to hear the feedback,
Yep.
and I'm here for it, man.
Definitely, man.
I
That'd
got
be
some things I
awesome.
got going on, so that's why I can't spend too much time. I got a busy schedule, so I wanted to cut you in because we've been talking about this so long, G.
Yeah.
I said I couldn't wait to get this going on and get it started. And I've had a wonderful time with you, man, kicking it with you.
Yeah, me too, man. You made my night, and yeah, it's been awesome. And yeah, I loved every moment. I learned so much off you already.
Well, thank you. Let's keep the good times rolling, man. Got to
De-
come out to your part of the world. We got to get it going on. You know, this
Definitely.
whole plan is ours for use.
Yep.
It's
Definitely.
29 million square miles of useful land. Let's make use of the land.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the water because we see what happened to the submersible. So we could do everything on land. Let's do it.
Yeah.
No underwater meetings, bro. We're not
Yeah,
gonna do
man.
that.
Yeah, you won't get me out on the water, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll be on top of it, but I don't want to go under it.
Yeah. Same, man. No doubt.
So we good, man. Tap in with me, man. And it's good to hear from you. Good to see you. And I appreciate this once again, bro.
Thank you, bro. You too. And yeah, we'll keep in touch, man. For sure. I'll let you know when this is coming out as well. And yeah, it'd be cool.
Okay, my God. Enjoy your night.
Yeah.
And shout out to your audience, man. Love is love.
Thanks, man. You too, man. Appreciate you, bro. I'll talk to you.
And I'm going to say peace, which is the absence of all confusion. Peace.